If you're listening to this today and you're thinking about running TikTok ads, but you haven't touched TikTok before, then don't. That is not the way to start out with TikTok. And if their audience is your audience, then you're going to get to see the type of content that resonates, and that's going to give you a lot of lessons for what your ads should eventually look like.
You're listening to the Keep Optimizing podcast to increase your traffic, improve your conversion rates, and grow your profits.
Hello and welcome. I'm Chloe Thomas, the host of this e-commerce marketing focused podcast. If you're not familiar with our format, well, each month we focus on a different marketing method, like email or SEO or Facebook ads. And each week I interview a different expert to explore the latest advice on making it work for you. This month we're doing digital advertising. Yeah, I know, we only did Facebook ads a few weeks ago, but we're at a fascinating time in digital advertising for e-commerce brands right now. You've got more choice than ever before of which platforms to spend your cash on. The privacy-forced changes are making the old favourite channels less appealing for many of you. Yes, I know many of you are struggling with Google and with Facebook. And we've also got a new iOS update, iOS 17, to contend with. So throughout this month, we're going to be looking at the key things you need to know about to get your advertising plans in place for peak and showcasing a few ad platforms you're probably not yet spending any cash on. We're kicking off with the one of those you've probably all heard of, which is TikTok. My guest really knows his TikTok performance for e-commerce brands. And whilst technically we're talking TikTok shop and advertising, there's a load of great advice coming up on working with creators, creating your own creative, organic side of TikTok, and loads of other great stuff too. Quite frankly, he's just really giving it all to you today. Before we get into that, please let me thank Judith from Shopline for the intro to such a knowledgeable TikTok marketer, like the perfect guest to try and cover all of TikTok in one episode. And do make sure you listen right to the end of the episode, because at the end of the interview, he will be sharing some quick fire insider tips to help you maximize the performance of your TikTok advertising and your TikTok activity generally. And then I'll be sharing my take on it all, plus outlining some more free ways we can help you improve your digital advertising and TikTok marketing even more. So make sure you listen to the end. Do you want more from your paid ad campaigns this year? Are you tired of disappointing results? Are your optimizations delivering low to no performance improvements? If that sounds familiar, it's because the game has changed, which means you need a chat with my friends at Digital Gearbox. They are masters in the art of pay-per-click marketing. Their expert team have helped transform businesses around the world with tried and tested strategies that actually get results. And right now, they're offering a free one-on-one consultation to 10 ambitious Keep Optimizing listeners looking to get more sales and better returns online. Only 10 of you can get this brilliant offer, so don't delay. Get your free consultation now. Head over to keepopt.com/Digital Gearbox and let Digital Gearbox show you the true power of PPC. Do you have a problem only an awesome piece of e-commerce tech can solve? Is your e-commerce tech stack not quite fit for purpose anymore? Then why not explore the latest technology on offer at e-commerce tech? We are going through a hugely changing time in the tech landscape at the moment, and if you want to be bringing the best results you can in your business, then you need to be on top of what's going on in the tech space. To find out that and much more, head to keepopt.com/tech. That's keepopt.com/TECH. keepopt.com/tech to find all the best tools for your e-commerce store. In this episode, I'm chatting with digital advertising expert Ben Muir. Ben is the head of marketing at sister agencies Grow Digital, who help brands enter the UK market, and Unsociable, where they're all about harnessing the power of TikTok and other social channels to drive brand growth. Hello, Ben.
Hello, Chloe. Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for the lovely intro as well. It is an absolute pleasure to be on such an esteemed podcast with yourself.
Oh, that's very kind of you, sir. No one can see this, not even you, but I am blushing right now. So let's gloss over that quickly. How did you get into digital advertising? How did you end up in this space?
Well, I've actually always had a passion for storytelling, and when I was younger, I was obsessed with cinema, and I thought I had dreams of being a film critic, and that was my kind of passion. And I realized that probably doesn't translate into the most practical career, or at least very difficult one to get into. So I discovered what marketing was at kind of 16, 17 years old and what it really was. And I decided to study that at university. Totally fell in love with it throughout my studies and thought, okay, this is the career for me, and what area. And being a Gen Z and a social native, it seemed like the natural course of action to go into social media. So that's what I did. And I worked at another agency for a while, ended up leading the team there before about a year ago, I decided to set out on my own. And here we are today.
There's so many interesting things in what you just said. And I think one of them is, if we went back certainly went back 10 years and asked someone how they got into digital advertising, video, cinematography, storytelling would have been nowhere on the list. So it's kind of fascinating how much things have changed in quite a short period of time.
It's incredible. And I know we're talking about TikTok today, and I think that the translation of content from the old mediums of TV and film into what we can actually see on these platforms, where stories are told in 15, 30-second, 3-minute bursts, is just amazing. And it's a show of what we as human beings have evolved into and what we like to consume. And as you can probably tell, I'm totally enamored with it.
Okay, Ben. So like you said, you are here to talk about TikTok. We've found out how you got into digital ads. How did you end up in TikTok? Because it's still a super new platform for many, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And to be honest, it had been on my radar for a long time, being in social. But like probably many people listening today, I was quite intimidated by it almost, and I didn't fully understand it. And that's coming from someone who should be a social native. But I knew we had to give it a try. So last year we started experimenting with it. Most of our clients at that point in time were organic content on other channels, all the big ones that you would know. And I thought, let's just try some stuff on TikTok. So we actually did it with our clients for free, just organic content and some ad work as well. And we've seen incredible results very quickly. And so much so that I thought, this could actually be a way to promote ourselves. So that's what we did. We set up an Unsociable channel. We created characters. So if you do want to visit at Unsociable Agency, you'll see a very different version of Ben, who is known as the Grumpy Scottish Boss, and as a character on our TikTok channel.
I have to say, people may be going, typecasting? Having known Ben for a while now, I can't imagine him actually being grumpy in real life. So I'm gonna let you out of that one. So you've been experimenting for 12 months or more now, and not just experimenting, optimizing and improving results across multiple brands and for your own agency. What's the most interesting thing going on in TikTok at the moment, especially as regards for e-commerce brands?
I'd say by far the biggest interest with TikTok is TikTok Shop, just because of the power of the platform and what it offers brands that we've kind of never seen before. That we're really sitting at a significant transformation in commerce itself, and social commerce is transforming all the time. So with TikTok Shop, what you can actually do is you list your products. It's a marketplace, much like Amazon, where you go on and you list your products, optimize your product listings the same way you would any other marketplace channel. But the way that you actually promote content is through a combination, the way that you promote your products, rather, is through a combination of content, organic content, and working with creators, and also running ads the same way you would to other channels. But it looks very different from running ads to Amazon, say, where you're running PPC. What you're actually doing here is showing your product in use through, creative content that has either been made by content creators on TikTok or has been made by yourselves or a production company or however you've done it. It's just a very different way for shoppers to engage with your brand. And it's hard for me to describe on audio, actually. You kind of need to just jump on the platform and see for yourself. If you scroll on what's called the FYP, the For You page, if you scroll on that for a couple minutes, you will 100% be seeing a video that has a shoppable link. And from there, you can buy directly from TikTok Shop through whatever merchant is selling a product on there. And I hope that all makes sense so far through my description.
I think that was an impressively good description of something that is quite hard to explain anyway, and even harder to explain in an audio format. So thank you for that, Ben. So just to be really clear on this, basically TikTok have set up their own marketplace. We feed in the information using something like a Google Shopping feed, fairly standard.
It's quite different from that, but what you can connect it using third-party software to like a Shopify or a BigCommerce, a Shopline, anything like that. And there's other softwares being made. Actually, we're working with a middleware company right now to basically create something that would integrate with your WMS and your e-commerce store and any other sales channels that you would have, so that all the feed is coming through one place. But then once you've listed, you do need to optimize within the platform, because there's various things that TikTok Shop requires that maybe other sales channels wouldn't. And it's just slight nuances to the platform that I won't go into too much detail on today.
Great. So we work out our integration method, we optimize those listings, and then is TikTok taking the money and sending us the order, or is TikTok sending us the customer to check out?
Yeah, so that is the thing that you need to think about if you're going on TikTok Shop. Obviously, it's a marketplace the same way Amazon works, so you won't get the customer data. TikTok will take the money and then they'll allocate it to your account minus their commission fee, which is actually really low. It's 1.8% for new merchants for the first 90 days and then 5% following that.
That's tiny.
It's a lot lower than most marketplace platforms, significantly lower, yeah.
So like Amazon, we don't get the data, but we do get the sale. So all the stuff you do on Amazon to get the customer applies, people. Let's not go into that minefield today. So it's fully happening on the app, hence why I guess conversion rates are great and why this is a great opportunity for increasing sales volumes. For the organics and potentially the creative way of driving traffic to your products in TikTok Shop, there's going to be a pretty good margin because those commission rates are so low. Obviously, we're here to talk ads, Ben. So is one of the key strategies for TikTok Shop to be running ads to drive sales of your product?
Yes, it definitely is. But I'm going to say something controversial to start off with our conversation on ads. I'm going to say, if you're listening to this today and you're thinking about running TikTok ads, but you haven't touched TikTok before, then don't. That is not the way to start out with TikTok. What I would say is you're much better off having you and your team learn the platform and learn the nuances of it by creating organic content for your brand. 100% that's the way to start. And supplement to that, I would also recommend giving product samples to creators and letting them make content for your brand that they think will do well, because these creators know their audience better than you ever could. And if their audience is your audience, then you're going to get to see the type of content that resonates, and that's going to give you a lot of lessons for what your ads should eventually look like. So I've seen brands jump in head first, run ads, spend a lot of money, not get a lot back. And then I've seen brands do it the right way, where they spend a month or two testing content, seeing what works in terms of organic, seeing what creators are making that's resonating, that's selling through TikTok Shop, and then jumping into an ad strategy with the lessons learned from that. And I hope that makes sense, Chloe.
That makes so much sense, and that is kind of priceless advice, and it makes total sense to me from what I know about TikTok too. But just to be clear for the listeners, one of the reasons you're saying this is because the format of the ads, the creative of the ads, is very similar to an organic TikTok post. It's not like one's oblong and one's square, or one's a video and one's a still image. It's very similar content. So in learning the organic side of TikTok, we're learning what's likely to work when we come to our ads. Am I way off pace there, Ben, or is that about right?
You are 100% right. We actually have a saying in the space, and it's don't make ads, make TikToks, and it couldn't be more true. So you want your content, you want your ads rather to look like organic content. They want to fit natively into the scroll in the same way that you would do with, Instagram and Facebook ads, but even more so on TikTok. If something looks like an ad, it's going to be a very high CPM. It's going to be a very low conversion rate the majority of the time. Whereas if it looks like a TikTok that is also selling a product, then you're much more likely to see good results back from that.
And would it be fair to say that what works for one brand or one creator won't work for another? So not only do we need to work out how TikTok works, we need to work out how the people on TikTok respond to our brand the best.
That is honestly so true. And I'm learning every single day, like with new brands across different sectors that we work with, that stuff we wouldn't have fathomed working is working. Like a big thing right now that we're seeing really good results from is a negative hook. And I didn't think this would be the case on TikTok, but saying like why you shouldn't try a product, it piques people's curiosity before kind of coming back to, okay, but here's the reasons why. And we're actually seeing incredibly good results from that, and you wouldn't think it would be the case.
So leading with a negative, so don't buy this product if...
Yes, exactly that. Don't try this supplement because... And then talking about the reasons that you wouldn't buy it and kind of moving on to talk about the reasons that you would. It just engages the audience in a way that I haven't really seen and so many different creatives that we've tried out. That's just one thing that we're trying just now, but there's a lot of different stuff that's working. Have you heard of ASMR, Chloe?
Is that the bit that makes some people's brains tingle?
It does, yeah.
That's probably a terrible explanation. Could you explain it better than that, please, Ben, and then tell us why you're bringing it up?
Yeah, so ASMR is like combining sound and visual, although it can just be sound, but it'll always be visual on TikTok. It's combining sound and visual to keep people's attention throughout a video. So usually it's done with like relaxing sounds. So it could be like someone putting together like their morning smoothie and you include your supplement brand on that. But every step of the process has like this unique sound. So whether it's like chopping up the vegetables that goes into it, whether it's the running of the water. And this sounds all very basic, but if you've executed it right, then it's going to keep the audience that you're targeting engaged throughout the whole video, and they're going to take in your product at the stage that you decide to include it in the video. This is an awesome ad format, and we're seeing great results. So if you've got a brand that fits with it, I'd highly recommend testing it.
Wow, so that's kind of a bit of an emotional play in some ways, rather than an emotional play without any words.
Yeah, 100%. I think anything that you can do to draw the user's attention throughout the course of an ad. So whether it's the same as any platform really, but there's just a real nuance to it with TikTok. So sound is such an important thing, and something like an ASMR or a different type of video where you use sound to your advantage, and then you can really drive the emotional component through like text on screen or narration or something along those lines. Combining these various aspects of the creative work incredibly well.
We're diving here into creative, which is obviously so important on TikTok. But just to be clear, are these ideas that only work with TikTok Shop, or do these also work when we're driving sales to our own website?
No, 100%. I would recommend testing this on both. You're more likely to see a better result from running ads to TikTok Shop, just because TikTok would ideally like us all to stay on the platform. But that's not to say you won't see really good results from running direct-to-consumer ads to your e-commerce site. So all of these techniques will apply for both, 100%.
So is it worth a brand testing, assuming they've got TikTok Shop set up and assuming they've been playing around with organic, and they've got a fair idea of what their creative should look like? Is it worth trying side by side TikTok Shop and direct to website, or is it likely that we'll just be moving everything to TikTok Shop?
I would say for a lot of brands, like retaining customer data and like customer lifetime value is so crucial. So I wouldn't neglect the D2C side. You know, if you can test both, you have the budget to test both, and you have the feasibility to act on both, which I'm sure a lot or the majority of your listeners do. I would say 100% try both. Here's a kind of practical tip. So we talked a bit about organic content and working with creators as part of your TikTok Shop strategy. So what I would say is, when you've got a piece of organic content that's either by the creator or by your own brand, preferably by your own brand, you're going to run what's called a spark ad. And this is the best foray into TikTok advertising I can give you. So you've got a piece of organic content that you've made for your supplement brand, say, and it's got 80,000 views, and it's your best result so far since you've started on the platform 3 weeks ago. and there's a lot of comments in the video, and people are really positive about the way that you've portrayed this supplement brand. Say, you can then run what's called a spark ad, and I believe Facebook and Instagram have a version of this. But a spark ad is basically where you boost a piece of organic content, but you can add a CTA, so you can take people to your e-commerce site directly from the video, but you also retain all of the likes and all of the comments. So you get that social proof on that ad that you wouldn't otherwise have if you just went in cold. And the other benefit to that, of course, is that you've got a piece of organic content that's done really well. So you already know people want to watch this. So all you're doing is showing it to more people and letting them buy directly from a piece of content that people already like. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense, and an awesome tip as well. With these different ad opportunities, what sort of results could we expect? Let's frame this for someone this is going out in early August, so they get really inspired by this podcast. They do the organic learning for the next month, and they're in a position to start spending budget by September. Which may be a little bit fast, but we'll go with that. How quickly are they likely to see positive results? Like we'd say with Google ads that it takes up to 3 months to get things optimized. Is it that slow on TikTok? Does it happen straight away? Does it turn on the creative? And what sort of ROI, what sort of ROAS can we expect to see?
The opportunity on TikTok to just kind of jump into the platform and see really good results once you've done that little bit of content testing phase. If you've got a really good creative, the TikTok algorithm is sublime at finding who will buy from that, and it's only getting better. The CPAs and CPMs on TikTok are way lower than most of the other social platforms, and I think there was some data that came out last year that showed that TikTok was the lowest in kind of major categories, just because they want advertisers to come and use the platform. So they're keeping ad costs low, and they're helping you out. And it's actually, I don't know what your experience is like. I know you've worked in agency side before, but trying to get a rep at Facebook, at Meta, is the most impossible task as a marketer, I feel. And even more impossible is trying to get them to actually work with you and solve your problems. Am I right in saying this?
You are fine in saying that. I would totally agree with you. It's like a big mysterious black box, and it doesn't matter how much money you're spending. In my experience, you aren't going to get to speak to a human.
I found that to be the case in the very little that I done running Facebook ads. So I started on TikTok last June, and as of January this year, we became a TikTok shop partner and a creator agency partner. And since then, I have an account rep for just about every single thing you could ever ask for. I have one for every single client and brand that helps me out if we've got any issues. And there are issues. I won't be coy about that. There are issues, definitely. For anything we want to do with ads, anything we want to do with creators, anything at all. We have a support at TikTok, and they've been absolutely awesome at supporting me and my clients. So that is kind of revolutionary for me, coming from my previous experience with platforms.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's kind of mind-blowing because Google, you could get hold of someone at some point, and they can be quite proactive now, but you rarely get hold of someone who actually knows what they're talking about. So basically, results are good because TikTok are building something to make our results better even. So the algorithm is doing a good job of getting our content in front of the right people and our ads in front of the right people. They're there to help us, and they're keeping the costs artificially low in order to make us all go there. So basically, I guess what we're saying is now is the time to take advantage of TikTok.
I say that a lot, almost daily. Now is the time to take advantage. I said this kind of towards the start, but I really do feel like we're sitting at the precipice of a massive change in e-commerce, and I feel like TikTok is leading the way in that. Like, this is changing the way that people shop through live videos and through short form videos. It's just so easy, and the product recommendation comes from someone that they trust, a creator that they love. And it's the same as how we interact with like Amazon, for example. Like, what is the thing that the majority of people do? They go and they check the reviews section, they see what other people are saying. Here on TikTok, we have people who we trust, who we follow their content and watch it every single day. And by the way, that's not just creators, that's brands. There are people that watch brands' content every day. Like if you want to take a look at a couple of amazing brands, there's Scrub Daddy, which is an amazing cleaning product brand in the US, and then Duolingo, the translation app, millions of views on their organic content every day. So my point here is that the times are changing, and that the way that we engage with products through TikTok is completely different than the way that we've traditionally searched for products online. It's putting the right product in front of the right person from the right creator, brand or person at the right time. And the algorithm does a sensational job at doing that.
Nice. Ben, before we move towards the insider tips, is there anything else we need to let the audience know about? I know there's 1,000,001 things we could tell them about in the TikTok space. Is there anything left that it would be criminal of us not to tell them about before we head towards the insider tips?
Just talking about the kind of creator part of things, this is by far the best results I've ever seen, is working with content creators on commission. So previously, if you engage with an Instagram influencer, how did it work? You reached out to someone, say they had 40,000 followers, they asked you for £500 up front for a post and commission using their unique discount code that we had no way of tracking apart from through a purchase. So we didn't know that traffic was coming from that influencer to the page unless you were doing this at massive scale. Like a brand like In The Style would be able to see that Molly May, for example, had X number of sales from her stuff. Like that, those are just hypothetical examples, right? But if you were a smaller brand, the SME level at all, then you had no way of seeing how successful an influencer collaboration was. Now on TikTok, creators, or the majority of creators, don't ask for money up front. They all work on commission that you can set. It can be anywhere between 1% and I think it goes up to like 70%. The average is 10%. So if you list a product on TikTok Shop, if you've got some samples to give away and you identify some creators you work with, this is an unbelievably good channel for scaling your products on TikTok Shop and scaling your brand on TikTok in general through mass awareness. And all it takes is one viral creator video and you'll see like sales like you never believe in rapid time. And I'll give a great example to look at here is a brand called Nature Spell, who are doing lots of different stuff now and are massive on Amazon. But that's how they started out, using that approach, and they've scaled that into a multi-million-pound brand out of nowhere.
Nice. And Ben, loving that advice too. Very quickly though, that brand were Nature what?
Nature Spell, that is. So a lot of people, if anyone's spent a lot of time on TikTok, they would have probably seen the rosemary hair growth oil. That was their kind of pioneering product, their hero product, and now they have a full range of beauty and cosmetics that are just flying on TikTok Shop.
Nice, and you've just reminded me of another question I'm just going to quickly jam in there, which is, we've mentioned about supplements, we've mentioned health and beauty. Are there any brands for which this is something to avoid based on product category or target customer or something?
For TikTok Shop, yes, there's definitely some restrictions right now. I think this will change over time, but larger items where you can't sample creators cost effectively, like furniture, for example, is difficult to pull off on TikTok Shop. And then the other thing that we've found difficulties with, and I've had difficulties saying yes to a couple of brands that have reached out, is like really high-end luxury space. Just because of the content that's native to TikTok and how it needs to look, a lot of brands struggle to represent their brand, and we would struggle to represent them fairly also. Although one of the most successful business accounts on TikTok is actually Gucci.
There's always an exception, isn't there?
Yeah, and they've done something really incredible. I won't go into it, but take a look at Gucci on TikTok if you're looking for a great example of brand adopting the platform in the right way.
Right, everyone, don't go and look at Gucci on TikTok yet, because you need to stay tuned right to the end of this episode so you don't miss out on Ben's insider tips on digital advertising and my suggestions for more free resources to help you improve things even further in your business. So no Gucci yet. Do you want more from your paid ad campaigns this year? Are you tired of disappointing results? Are your optimizations delivering low to no performance improvements? If that sounds familiar, it's because the game has changed, which means you need a chat with my friends at Digital Gearbox. They are masters in the art of pay-per-click marketing. Their expert team have helped transform businesses around the world with tried and tested strategies that actually get results. And right now, they're offering a free one-on-one consultation to 10 ambitious Keep Optimizing listeners looking to get more sales and better returns online. Only 10 of you can get this brilliant offer, so don't delay. Get your free consultation now. Head over to keepopt.com/digital gearbox and let Digital Gearbox show you the true power of PPC. Do you have a problem only an awesome piece of e-commerce tech can solve? Is your e-commerce tech stack not quite fit for purpose anymore? Then why not explore the latest technology on offer at e-commerce tech? We are going through a hugely changing time in the tech landscape at the moment, and if you want to be bringing the best results you can in your business, then you need to be on top of what's going on in the tech space. To find out that and much more, head to keepopt.com/tech. That's keepopt.com/TECH. keepopt.com/tech to find all the best tools for your e-commerce store. Okay, Ben, so far we've gone deep into TikTok. Now you get to wow us with your insider knowledge about the whole of digital advertising. So for the following questions, your answer can be anything to do with digital advertising, which of course does include everything we've already been talking about. Ben, are you ready?
I am very much ready.
Excellent. Let's start with newbie advice. If we've inspired someone to take their first step, what do they need to know to give themselves the best chance of success?
Yeah, so we did touch on it a little bit, but I'll lay it out like in really kind of clear terms for, listen to this episode, take it to your boss or take it to your team, whatever you've got to do next, go and do this. Go and spend some time on TikTok and look at competitors in your category and see what ones are doing well. And then try and be inspired creatively to try some different ideas. Once you've done that, you want to engage with some content creators to make organic content on your behalf. Or if you've got the team internally to do that, then go ahead. It doesn't need to necessarily incorporate your product in every single piece. It could be loosely related. Like say you were a supplement brand and you wanted to talk about sleep, for example, because you feel like that's connected to it, then you could engage a content creator to talk about like 3 sleep tips or their nighttime routine. That type of thing tends to work really well. And once you've done that, you want to see what organic content you've made is performing best. Run that as a Spark ad, which I mentioned earlier, which is where you retain the likes and the comments and things like that, but you can create a CTA on the Spark ad so you can see when that starts to convert. Following this, I would also be running some samples to creators through TikTok Shop. And once you've got all that in place, then you can start testing ad creative. And the first thing I would do is some broad targeting campaigns run alongside some more niche audience targeting campaigns. So probably the most successful targeting option on TikTok, and I won't go too much in detail on this, but the best one to look at is interest targeting. And couple that with kind of demographics. So if your target market is 44 to 55-year-old women who are interested in knitting, then that's a pretty easy one to target. That's how I would start if I was from scratch and wanted to go into running ads on TikTok.
Nice breakdown there, Ben. Thank you. That's like a proper getting started checklist. Right. Once you've started, of course, you've got to keep optimizing. So what's your favorite way to improve performance?
So when you engage with a content creator to make your ad creative, always get them to do multiple hooks and CTAs, because these are the most important parts of the ads. So a hook, we used to think it was about 3 seconds. Now we think it's about 1.8 seconds. So you have 1.8 seconds to capture attention. You don't know what that 1.8 seconds is going to look like. You can guess as a marketer, but you don't know what the best is going to be. So if you engage with a UGC content creator, get them to make like a few different pieces of content, but get them to have, 4 to 6 hook variations and a couple different CTAs at the end of the ad. And that will give you loads to play with. and see what works best, because you can be very surprised. Like I mentioned, negative hooks earlier on. I discovered this not too long ago, and it's been a real game changer for us.
I love that. It's not a lot of extra work for the creator, but gives you so much more scope for results. It's brilliant advice. Now, if someone listening wants to learn more, is there one cheap or free resource you would recommend?
There's a couple places I would go. So actually the information on TikTok on their website, and if you go to the, like, literally go into Google and type in TikTok for advertisers and just bury your head into that for a couple hours, there's so much there, and they talk about everything from creative to targeting, everything I've kind of run through on the call. It's actually an awesome resource and way better than what other platforms have, in my opinion. And then there's some really good content creators out there. One of my favorite is Savannah Sanchez, who's on LinkedIn. She runs a US agency, and in terms of advertising, she's one of the best I've seen for putting out really reliable information and lots of insight.
Nice. I follow Savannah on LinkedIn, but I don't think I do on TikTok yet, so I'm going to have to go and add that one too. Finally, Ben, it's crystal ball time. What's coming up in the next 6 to 12 months that we should be getting ready for?
100% you need to have your eye on live selling. So in China, on Douyin, which is the Chinese equivalent of TikTok, this is an unbelievably huge market, and it's where people are spending their time and their attention. And judging by how live streaming and live selling is going on TikTok in the UK, as well as on some other platforms, this is going to be a massive channel. And I don't think we have enough time to really cover it in detail today, but it's something that we're very much focused on, is running lives for brands with creators. And that brand, Nature Spill, that I mentioned earlier, they're doing sensational numbers on that. It's picture it as like the old kind of QVC shopping channel. Is that what it's called? QVC, Chloe?
That's the one, yeah, QVC.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, but for the modern age. And when you first engage with it, you'll be like, what is this? But people are watching and people are buying, so you need to understand that that's where your consumer is going to spend their attention, and it's where they're going to be spending their money as well.
Yeah, I think I've seen predictions that live stream shopping is coming to the West for the last couple of years, and it seems like the TikTok is going to be the space where it finally materializes itself. And I find it mad it hasn't yet come to our part of the world, because it's such a no-brainer sales channel to me. But you know, we shall see what's happening on TikTok. Ben, thank you for all of those. We're very nearly at the end of the show, so could you please let the listeners know where they can find you and your businesses even, please?
Yeah, thanks, Chloe. So if you want to keep up to date with like the latest on social commerce and TikTok in particular, yeah, your best bet is to follow me on LinkedIn. I post almost daily on there with kind of all the latest updates and results that we're getting and insights that you can apply. So it's just my name, Ben Muir. You should hopefully see me at the top of your listing, but if not, I'll be there with a little Unsociable UN behind my head. So hopefully people can find me. If you'd like to connect with either of our businesses, then it's unsociableagency.com or grow-digital.io. And that's our two agency offerings that I am head of marketing for. And I would love to hear from your listeners. I'm always happy to have a chat, and always happy to take and engage with questions that people may have about going onto the platform. And if you think we can help you out in any way, then I'll always try to do that.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, Ben. I suspect you'll be getting a fair few messages from people over the next few days. I think TikTok is fairly high on a lot of people's must find out more list, if not must action list. So I've got a feeling you may almost regret that offer. But thank you very much for making it. Ben, thank you so much for being on the Keep Optimizing podcast and being so generous sharing your TikTok even expertise with us. It's been lovely catching up with you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Chloe. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I can't wait for the episode to go out. So I really appreciate your time and everything. Thank you.
Wow, I can't believe how much TikTok advice Ben gave us there, with loads of good stuff on the advertising side of things as well. It's quite a different platform, but if you can get the creative right, hence why you're going to spend some time doing the organic piece and looking at those competitors first, your ads should work, because at the moment TikTok is massively incentivizing all of us to do ads on the platform with those really low commission rates on TikTok shop sales and super helpful advertising people and shop people and reps and helpers and all the rest of it, and great rates on advertising at the moment. So well worth putting it up your to-do list before they start being less helpful and changing those rates, because it's probably not going to last forever. I don't know. We'll see. You can get the links to all those things we discussed, the full transcript of the episode, important notes and more at keepoptimizing.com. Or use the special direct to episode short links. That's keepopt.com/episode number, and that will take you to the right page on the website. When you get to the website, make sure you add yourself to our email list so you don't miss out on any of the other things I share to help you improve your business, which in the land of TikTok includes a whole month of TikTok advice coming up later this year, where we will be getting into ad targeting, we'll be getting into ad creative, we'll be getting into organic, we're getting deeper into TikTok shop, we'll be getting into doing lives and working with creators. Loads of stuff we're going to be covering in the upcoming TikTok month. However, though, thank you so much for tuning into this TikTok episode of the Keep Optimizing podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode and want to continue learning about digital advertising and what you should be doing right now to make the most of your budgets, well, scroll back up your feed to our episodes about Google Ads and Facebook Ads. We've covered both of those in detail this year, looking at how they've been changing, what you need to know to make them successful, with loads of great advice. So scroll back and have a listen to those. You can also find all our digital advertising content via the short link keepopt.com/advertising. And if you can't wait for our TikTok month coming up later this year, then we've done a TikTok month before, last year, back in 2022, and you can access that via keepopt.com/TikTok. Finally, please do tell your fellow marketers about this show, the Keep Optimizing podcast, because I want to help as many marketers as possible to improve the performance of their e-commerce marketing. Have a great week and make sure you listen to the next episode so I can help you to keep optimizing your marketing.
Access everything Keep Optimizing at keepoptimizing.com. That's with an S, not a Z.
Find the latest e-commerce tech at keepopt.com/tech.